Welcome to RareMaven, the podcast, where we own what we create and celebrate Black women creativepreneurs. I'm your host, Karima Muhammad, and I'm here today with Angel Edme. Angel Edme is an NYC-based beauty, lifestyle, and fashion maven who's turned her personal brand into a movement rooted in body positivity and inclusivity. In 2025, she left her full-time job in film and TV to pursue a career full-time as a content creator, or as we will say, a creative entrepreneur. She's collaborated with brands including Revolve, Rent the Runway, and Prada Beauty, centering self-expression, body inclusivity, and body positivity. Let's welcome Angel Edme. Welcome, Angel. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. We're so glad to have you here to talk about all things fashion, beauty, body positivity, and just to really just chop it up with you, to talk about self-love and your own personal journey through style to discover your own self-love too. So
I'm so
thank
here
you
for
for
it.
being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me,
Yes.
truly.
So to start off, I have a question.
Okay.
So, would you rather host your own body positivity
Ooh.
fashion show
Mm-hmm.
or write a self-help book on how folks can develop their own personal style?
Ooh, a book. I love a good self-help book myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I find them very helpful. I think it's really cool to see other people's life experience and learn from them. We all can learn from each other because there is no book on life.
Nice. I
Yeah.
love that. So we're
Mhm.
gonna get that, right? That's what
I
we're
know.
coming
Now I'm
to.
like, let me write this down.
I could see it, like, and I could see like a lookbook. I could see like
Yeah.
different styles in there too, or things to play with. I could see it. So yes, we still could do a fashion show too. We need that
Yeah,
fashion.
yeah.
Awesome. Now tell us, who was the first person to inspire you as a creative?
I would say maybe my mom is a big inspiration. And the only reason I'll say this is because, I grew up in a family that didn't have a lot of money and we struggled a lot. So we had to find ways to be playful despite not having. And I think like seeing how she like still expressed herself through her fashion, even though we didn't have a lot, I think that is really my inspiration because I move like that now.
I love that. That's when you get
Hmm.
creative. When you
Exactly.
use what you have, use your resources
Yeah.
versus having everything at your disposal. Sometimes you'll just go with what is trendy. And that's what we're also here to talk about with your journey of your
Yeah.
own. So, yes, I love that. Okay, mama, she got you started. All right, awesome. So next I want to get into, tell us your story, like as coming into being a content creator and building your brand. Like tell us how you
Yeah.
got your start and tell us more about what you do.
It's so funny because I feel like usually when people become content creators, it was intentional. It was a thing that they planned out. They're like, I'm going to
Mhm.
do this. I'm posting this many times. For me, it was an accident. Like I didn't
Mm.
mean to. Um, what's really funny is there was a time when I was trying to become a content creator when I was younger,
Mhm.
like when I was in my teens, and like
Mhm.
it was like YouTube was very popular. I
Okay.
had like my personal YouTube channel and I had YouTube pages with my friends and like they were actually doing pretty well, but when I went off to college to study film and TV production, I actually like dropped all of them and like deleted all my videos and things like that.
Mm.
And eventually, as TikTok came around, I was kind of slow to the TikTok trend of it all.
Mhm.
But eventually, I downloaded it and I was posting singing videos for my friends, like for
Mm.
fun. And then people would be like, wait, where's this top from? Or like, where's this thing
Okay.
from? And I was like, well, I can make some fashion videos. Like, why not? And that's how it happened. It kind of like took off from
Wow.
there. But it
Mhm.
was so unintentional, so unplanned.
Mhm.
um, but I also do think it's really funny that at some point I was like a creator when I was younger. And I've kind of like
Mm.
circled back full
Yep, came full
circle.
circle. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you already planted that seed, and it was like,
Yeah.
life just took you on your course. We gotta make them coins but it
Right.
was like always in your spirit to want that. So that's really beautiful that it came back
Yeah.
to you in that way.
So crazy.
And what would you say was like your eureka moment? Like, what was that moment where you were like, I want to take this to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, so when my page blew up, I think it was like fall going into winter of like 2022, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't really take Instagram seriously until the beginning of 2023. So I'm really like 3 years into the game right now with
Mm,
this, relatively young at like
okay.
in terms of being a creator.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when Instagram took off, I was like, oh, there's now an expectation of serving the people that are here,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, we should keep going for it. So I went for it, and then, like the brand deals would come and modeling gigs came, and I was like, wait a minute. It's like, okay, like there's something here, like
Mm-hmm.
there's
Mm-hmm.
something working, there's something happening, there's this
Mm-hmm.
opportunity being presented to me. Um, and I kind of just went with the flow of it all.
Gotcha.
I feel like it's when the numbers came to back it, I was like, okay, let me actually take this seriously, like more serious than
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
have been. But I'll also say the moments where I've had people DM me and they're
Yeah.
like, you are inspiring me to like be more confident. You are inspiring me to show up differently.
Mm.
Those are the moments that made me wake up and be like, oh, this is what I meant to be doing,
Yes.
if that makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. I just love this because like you were saying, it was like a flow. It came to you and you just like stayed consistent and did it, but you also saw you had impact. And
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. Like what we do is not for us to hold in, it's to give back and share
Yeah.
with others. What I also love is that you didn't wait for the numbers. You literally just followed the signs. Like, oh
Yeah.
wow, like I got back into content
Yeah.
creating. Here's this little app. Oh, let me go on TikTok. And you just kind of were guided as you got more feedback and you just embraced it instead of
Mhm.
thinking, what can I get out of it? You just
Yeah.
did what was coming to you naturally. And I love the fact that, like you said, you're like, you are early in this. Like, you give me hope because I'm like, I feel like there was like a wave in 2020 with everything in the content creation game, and now
Yeah.
people are 5, 6, 7 years in. But the fact that you did it in 2 to 3 years is amazing. But I think it speaks to what I'm gonna tell y'all all is intention. She has
Mm.
intention behind what she does,
Thank
and
you.
it's through who she's looking to serve. So that's really beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now get into that. I definitely want to get into your tips then.
Okay.
And one in being a content creator or fashion, we could talk about that. One in business and one in
Mhm.
wellness. Like, how do you
Mm.
take care of yourself?
Yeah. I would say, starting off with wellness, I would say this is something that I'm learning as we speak, and I'm trying to become better at as we speak,
Mm-hmm.
is finding balance. I
Mm.
think it's very easy, especially when you're in a creative field, to give everything your all, and you should.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's also an importance in making sure that you're taking time for yourself to take that time to journal. If you believe in God, to pray and to read your
Mm-hmm.
Bible and do your
Mm-hmm.
devotionals. Take that time to go and like work out and take a walk and get some fresh air outside and hang out with your friends. And I
Mm-hmm.
think like the balance is very important, because when your art is so strongly tied to you and who you
Yes.
are, it's very easy to lose yourself in it. And I
Totally
think
get
that's
that.
something that I'm learning. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I
Mm-hmm.
am learning, because the last like year or two, I've poured so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, at the time too, I just left my full-time job um early last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing two, both of them. And I wasn't really sleeping much. I wasn't really, eating as well as I should have. I wasn't really,
Mm.
because I didn't have the time.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm finding again that time to make sure I'm focusing on myself as much as I'm focusing on my craft.
Oh, great, great, great,
Um,
great.
in terms of business, I would say take a risk.
Mm.
You can leap. And you can trust yourself that you will be okay. Last year was so crazy because I went from having the full-time job and the content creation, and I was freelancing too. Crazy. And I was freelancing
That's
too.
a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot. We survived somehow. It was a lot. But I went from that to just only having the content creation, and it was very scary.
Mm,
Um, it's never going to be easy. There are going to be times where you feel like you made the wrong decision, and there are going to be times that you're reminded that you made the right decision for you. And um, you have to be able to trust yourself
mm.
in order to do that, in order to run a business, in order to, it takes a level of faith. So take the
Yes.
leap. Take the leap, try it.
I love that. So no,
Yeah.
we gotta stop right there because she hitting home right now, y'all. She is hitting
Yeah.
home, and it's so amazing because it's the top of the year. We're still,
Mhm.
into February now,
Yeah.
and you are speaking to me right now.
You-
And I know she's speaking to me. She's speaking to y'all too. And it is the prime time right now. If y'all
yeah.
don't know, to take a leap, especially
Take a
before spring
leap.
comes in. Like it's literally time if you are ready to shift to just do it.
Shift.
Go for
Just
it.
shift. Do it
Mm-hmm.
scared. Do it
Yes.
scared. That's my biggest thing. And like, I was just talking the other day. I do like a word of the year. I don't do
Mm-hmm.
like goals necessarily that like I have to
Mm-hmm.
stick to. Instead,
Mm-hmm.
I do a word to move by, like to
Yes.
move with.
Yes.
And my word of the year this year is audacity. Um,
Mm.
and a lot of times audacity is seen as a bad word, like, oh,
Yeah.
how dare they have the audacity to do da 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 da. Which, yes, by definition, that's one of the definitions. But the
Mm-hmm.
other definition is to take bold risks, which I find interesting that like a word like audacity can have both of
Dual.
those meanings
Yeah. Yeah.
of
Yeah.
like taking a bold risk, but also taking up almost too much space.
Yes. Yes.
It's very contradictory, you
Mm-hmm.
know? But um I think in this year of my life I'm really focused on showing up scared, showing up boldly, really fighting that imposter syndrome,
Yes.
and
Yes.
making sure that like I am presenting my full self as authentically as possible.
Yes. Listen,
Yeah.
you clocked it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like this is what has been in the air this season.
Yeah.
And the fact that Angel was saying this, I hope this is confirming a lot that's going on with us as creators right now.
Yeah.
And knowing that we don't have to rush, but we have to move,
Yes.
right? You
Yeah.
gotta move. You gotta
We
move.
gotta move.
Mm-hmm.
We are our
Mm-hmm.
worst enemies. We are.
Yep.
Like you have to like
You telling.
shut out the negative thoughts and be like, we got this. We're
Mm-hmm.
doing this.
Yes.
And take the action.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Take
good.
the
All
action.
right. All right.
Yeah.
And your last tip for us on your
Okay, okay.
artistry.
On artistry, I will say, I really want to say, I feel like it's very similar, but I think it's trust your vision. I think it's very easy to compare yourself as an artist because while you are creating art that is reflective of who you are and how you feel and what you want to present to the world, it's also very easy to look at the monetary, to look at the numbers, to look at the goals that you've set and look at other people doing it and going, why am I not there yet? Or how do I get there? But I think it's also important to trust your vision and to make the best steps for you and who you are in your
Yeah.
artistry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And it goes back to what you did, right? Like
Hmm.
you don't have to have all the answers, y'all. It's
Yeah.
just about like what you said, hand in hand with taking the leap, taking the step forward, and then being guided towards what's working for you because that's how you're going to know how you show up best.
Yeah.
And so comparing yourself to someone else is literally like comparing their process. And all of us have a different process, a different experience that's basically catered to us.
Yeah.
So it's like if
Yeah.
you're looking at someone else, you're actually slowing down your process to get to where you need to be based on who you are.
Right.
So I love that you mentioned that. So thank you for those. Those are some
Of
great
course.
tips.
Of course.
Okay. let's get back into some of the fashion stuff. Okay. I want to know, as far as we're in February, but we're gonna come into spring. What would you say are like the go-tos
Ooh,
clothes
like
or your
pieces?
yes, basics.
Oh man, what are my go-tos? I mean, I'm still rocking. I feel like we're kind of switching back slowly, but I'm still rocking the wide leg pants and
Me
like
too.
the baggy. I'm stuck. If we go
Yes.
back, I won't be joining. I won't. Like I see like we're like going back to like cigarette pants. No,
Yeah.
I don't want it. It's not for me.
Me neither.
I love a wide leg.
Yeah.
Also burgundy's very popular right now, and I love a
Hmm.
burgundy color, a rich red, especially on brown skin. It's
Yes.
just so beautiful.
Hmm.
So I definitely am looking for more like burgundy pieces to add to my closet. And
Okay.
I'm really into accessories. You can change any outfit with
Mm.
accessories. So I've
Hmm.
been like stacking up on like new jewelry pieces and things like that. But yeah.
Amazing. I love it. Yeah, I'm literally on your wave. Jewelry, always a go-to. And those Wiley pants, they do dual work. They're
Yes.
stylish and they're comfortable and roomy. Like, I don't want to feel stuffed up anymore.
No,
I don't like that feeling. Give me all the wide leg pants. Give me everything. Not comfortable
literally.
up.
I look back at like the skinny jeans trend. I was like, why did we ever think that
Put
was
ourselves through that
okay?
trauma.
Like, why did we do that? We
Yes,
didn't
that was a
need
lot of
that.
trauma and
It
sucking in and
was
pulling and,
right.
no, I don't want it.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary for sure. All right. Well, I want to also get into like with your journey in body positivity, and I want you to just share with us your journey into loving yourself authentically as who you are and how it contributed to your personal style.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because it's a catch 22. I think in order to find confidence or to have positivity towards your body, no matter like the shape or size,
Mhm.
is you have to take leaps and you have to just try things. And I feel like sometimes people think it's the opposite way. I feel like sometimes people think that you have to have confidence in order to find your personal style, or you have to have confidence in order to love your body. But it's actually the opposite. It takes going through the work first, and then the confidence comes, and the self love comes. And that was very much so my journey. I've always been in a bigger body, even from when I was younger, and um, as a child only being able to shop at like Ross and Dee Dee's, you know what I mean? Like we didn't have money. So it's like finding like clothes. It'd be like Mickey Mouse shirts and like things like that. I was like, I don't want to wear this. Like the
Uh-huh.
girlies are wearing Hollister and Aeropostale and like I can maybe squeeze into a few tops, but like the pants didn't fit and things like that.
Mhm.
Um so I feel like when I was younger, it was very much so like finding things in order to try and fit in, and at some point along the way, I was very much that kind of person who like wore clothes to hide my body, right? Like wearing the baggier fits to hide, or wearing the black colors because like that was what was like acceptable. And I think, after going through my own personal self-love journey where I was like journaling and I like stayed single and started doing affirmations and um all of those things, I eventually started to believe the things that I was preaching. And I think that's where words are really important, because the way that you speak to yourself has a really big impact on how you present in the world, and the things that come towards you. um so yeah, I went on like this huge self-love journey, and I started to like become more playful with my clothes because I felt more confident in my body and who I was, because I understood who I was. And funny enough, also when I started content creation, I feel like that was a second push almost into like really finding myself, because I allowed myself to be more experimental for the sake of making the content, which was kind of crazy because I had to put myself out on the internet. I can't control the way that people perceive me. And I wanted to like be more bold and playful, so I allowed
Mhm.
myself to do that
Mhm.
online, which then
Mhm.
just full circle pushed me into becoming more confident, pushed me
Yes.
into finding more of my personal style and what that looked like for me. Um,
Mhm.
and that's how it all came about.
Beautiful. I just
Yeah.
love this. Yeah, like we should do that pocket because I feel like, what I keep hearing with you is like you were making room for yourself.
Mhm.
You weren't trying to figure everything out. It was like you just took one step just to try,
Yeah.
just to try and just be open to seeing what could happen for you. And that is a big part of self-love is trusting ourselves.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just looks like every time you were trusting in yourself, your journey, it's like everything, there's like more doors just kept opening that you probably never would have realized had you try to plan it out, map it out,
Right.
compare what someone else is doing to what you're going through. It was like you just had that trust. And I think that's really important, definitely for your listeners to know, like, in self-love, the biggest part of love is trust. Like even loving ourselves, loving another person, you can't love something without having trust in something.
Exactly.
So I really love that, you spoke to that. And what inspired you to go on your self-love journey?
Um, well, when I went on my self-love journey, the initial time, I went through a breakup. I was dating this person for like 3 years, and I was younger. It was like like 18, 19, and then 3 years after. Um, so I really just wanted to find myself. I was like, who am I as this single adult? Like, what does that look like for me? And that's really what initiated it. And I just kind of was like, girl, we're gonna journal, we're gonna turn inward, we're gonna like study ourselves and like
Mm.
live and have a good time. You
Hmm.
know?
I love it. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that you said that. Keyword, y'all. She said, well, keywords. She
Yeah.
said turn inward.
Yeah.
Like, and that can be scary, and that's what we try to avoid, but that is the key to really living how we want to live authentically ourselves. So,
Completely.
and I
Yeah.
could definitely identify, I went through a similar experience. It's so funny because the person I did cut off, he ends up being my husband, but as
No.
I said,
Yeah.
but I had to see what life was like with me not being with him and finding myself, and it made what we have now stronger because we
Yeah.
both had went through our own journey. But it it would never have happened if I didn't turn inward, like you were
Right.
saying. So I just want to put that out there because we are in a space. I know we have this month of Valentine's Day and loving someone else, but I definitely in this episode wants to know about turning inward, like you're saying, and loving on ourselves first,
Yeah.
especially as creatives with how passionate we are and things we have. Like sometimes
Mhm.
our emotions can take over and we really have to get more rooted. So
Right. And
yeah.
meet yourself in curiosity. That's the biggest thing. Like, if I
Mm,
ever have a thought or a feeling, my first question is why. And
mm,
and once I answer the why, I question why again to that answer. And I think sometimes we take our emotions or feelings or things that we're experiencing as surface level, not realizing that those emotions and feelings come from something way deeper.
yes. Woo.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
is she is
It's
dropping some
true.
some deep stuff on y'all today. I hope y'all catching it. You know, there's a reason why you feeling that way. Do not
Yeah.
ignore your feelings. Your
Yeah.
feelings are answers. They're giving you clues to something. And that's how you turn
Exactly.
inward by acknowledging your feelings and emotions. Woo,
Completely.
she's setting it off in here. I didn't think we were gonna get this deep, but I wanted us to tap into this around loving on ourselves, and this is
Yeah.
definitely on point. All right, so let's get into. I know you talked about your journey in content creation. We got to run it back. I know we have some creatives on here, including myself, who are creative, but to be creative and create something is totally separate than
Yeah.
making that as a content creator. We know that. So I would say to the creatives who maybe they like to paint, they like to sing, what else? They're directors, writers, like what advice would you give to them in becoming content creators?
I think you have to treat it like a job. I think it's sometimes people conflate being a content creator with being a consumer. And they think that, well, it can't be too hard because like I watch these videos and they're like 15 seconds and they're just having fun, not realizing that there's so much strategy and work that goes behind it. And I think the key word behind being a content creator is strategy. As someone who's been doing this, who talks to other creators, even the videos that you feel like came out of the whim and they picked up the phone and last minute filmed it, it was planned. It was scripted. And that's the honesty behind it, is that it is a very strategic profession. You need to have a plan so that you can be consistent, and you have to be strategic about it.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Hmm.
All right. And like, would you say, as far as platforms,
Hmm.
should there be one platform people focus on as far as starting? If you want to keep that consistency, keep that strategy, find the right audience. Do you encourage having one or maybe two, or just sticking with one to start until you get your footing?
I think it's smart to do at least two. I think the reality is that, you know, nothing is promised. The reality is that if Instagram closes tomorrow, like you lose half of your business. And if that's the only platform that you were on, you lose your entire business. Two is preferable. If you can do three, the main three, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, that would be the most preferred. But also you have to do what you can handle because it's not easy to do multiple. But I will say there are tools like Repurpose.io. I would write that down. That's a really good website that allows you to automatically post to the other social platforms. So, say you want to focus on like uploading to Instagram, whatever you upload to Instagram, you can have Repurpose.io literally just send it to TikTok and YouTube, and you don't have to worry about doing it yourself.
What? Listen,
Yeah.
she been dropping stuff on y'all today. I hope y'all writing this site down and using it. I know I
Yeah.
am,
Yeah.
because that is like the pain. I was just gonna ask you that because I'll like post something on TikTok, and sometimes I notice when you want to post the same video on Instagram, it gets a little janky, and I'm like,
Yeah.
because they're competing, and I'm like, I really don't have time for this.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Would you say that was
Yeah.
repurposed?
Repurpose IO. Yeah.
Okay.
What I do now is I post to TikTok and Instagram separately, but all of my other content on other platforms, I have Repurpose IO pull from Instagram and it posts to Snapchat, it posts to YouTube Shorts, it posts to Threads, and it posts to Facebook. And that's how I get those out without having to spend hours of my day uploading all of the content. The only reason why I post to Instagram and TikTok separately is because the algorithms are very different. So sometimes I'll have two different edits for the both of them. TikTok is more raw, so I know I can do like a longer form video with my hair down versus, Instagram might be like a shorter clip of that video or something more polished.
Yeah, that is great. Even that right there was a key, because people don't realize that with TikTok versus Instagram. Instagram is definitely more for aesthetically pleasing
Yeah.
content, perfection.
They don't want
Yeah,
to be like they
yeah,
keep being like, "Oh, it's not like that." I'm like, but it is.
it
Like
is. It
it
is.
is.
They created that culture, and you cannot get
Right.
away from what we receive as the consumers or
Yeah.
producers. You can't get away from that. TikTok
No.
jumped off from the gate with that. That's why I was kind of like, even with TikTok, I think I was having you know withdrawals from
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Because how you come off on TikTok is like you could have a scarf on your head, and I'm like,
Yeah.
is this okay?
Yeah.
But again, like, I love what you said, and you made it very clear, which was a great tip, is you definitely have to show up differently on different platforms. Thank you for those tips.
Of
And
course.
I would also say now with starting up your content creation career, like once to get into monetization. A lot of folks, as far as creativepreneurs, especially Black women
Hmm.
creativepreneurs, foot the bill themselves. So, could you speak to us? Because I know content creation is a whole different ball game. Could you speak to us about how you grew and monetized as a content creator?
Yeah, I feel like it's very complicated right now because of how each platform's operating. I'll say, one, as a creative, if you're using Instagram as your business, please write things off as deductibles. Like you are using certain things for your work, make sure you are keeping your receipts and claiming your taxes on that. I will say that first because I think that's something that we sometimes forget that we can do. And we're investing all of this money into the business without recouping anything, you know? Um, Outside of that, in terms of, I would say, in terms of platforms paying you, the platform that you can gain the most from is YouTube. YouTube pays. Obviously, you have to grow to a certain level before you can monetize, but they are the ones that once you do get to that place, they will pay you consistently, and the payoff is really good.
Beautiful. I love that. And
Yeah.
as it pertains to the brand deals, because I know a person like me, that's what I'm into. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't know where these platforms are going to end up. But relationships
Hmm.
are everything. So, would you say, do you create your own contracts? And I would say, if there's three things with a contract, with a brand deal as a content creator, what would you make sure is clear in that deal?
I will say one, always negotiate. They will always undersell. But that's their job. Like,
Mm-hmm,
I don't
mm-hmm.
blame them because they're trying to save as much on their budget, but also know that you do have value and your time is value, and you should always negotiate for yourself. The budget is always bigger than what they're offering. Um, Also, in terms of contract, I would say you want to make sure that the usage rights are clear. So, usually, when you have a contract with content creation in terms of doing a brand deal with another company, you'll have the price for the deliverables. So, what exactly are you posting? Is it one reel synchronized to TikTok, a three story set, whatever it may be? That'd be your deliverables. You'll have your usage rights. So how long can that company use um, your content for? You have exclusivity. So what brands can you not talk to or use or post about um, within a certain time frame around the posting window? And then there's also things like whitelisting. So like, can we promote the video? Um, to a larger audience using your name. So you want to take into account all those things, and you want to make sure that you're being fairly compensated for those things, and that those things have deadlines. So one thing, like a big word that's a big red flag, is perpetuity. So if a company is saying that their usage rights will be in perpetuity, it means that they can use it for however long they see fit, and uh, the compensation that you were given is all that you'll be given for that lifetime of usage. That's a problem. Um, you should always be paid for however long something of yours, your likeness, your name is being used for. Yeah.
Woo. Yeah, we're
Mhm.
going, we're going,
Yeah.
we're going raise it up, everything, because Angel done give y'all so much gems, and it's only been what, like 30 minutes. And if y'all don't write this stuff down, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong, because I think that that is like game changing, and that's why I asked you that, and thank you for that, because
No
I feel
problem.
like, you think about a brand like maybe a Sephora, ones that are big,
Mhm.
that come to you and you're like, oh my gosh, this brand. And you're so excited and you just take whatever, when really they need you. They
Yeah.
want you. You are the asset.
You are the
So
asset.
I'm really happy that you mentioned that, like, to treat yourself like really a business. You are a brand, you are a business, and this is
Mhm.
business they're doing with you. So go for your worth, you know? So,
And only you know your like. It's not
mm-hmm.
that they don't know your worth. I'm not saying they don't know your worth, but you are the only one who can uphold that. They will
Yes.
not uphold your worth.
Yes.
You are responsible for upholding your worth.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Angel, for that. Okay, I have two last questions for you.
Mhm.
Um, and this is geared to, this month of New York Fashion Week, the styles, what we'll probably be seeing. And I wanted to know if you could create a lookbook for like your top, I would say, fashionistas that you're like, listen, they do the dang thing, whether they are like singers, celebrities, or your fellow content creators. Who would you have in that lookbook and why?
Ooh. Okay, 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 okay. I'm gonna go for some celebs first. I would say, of course, Rihanna.
Yes.
She's just so effortless, and I love that. I feel like whatever she wears it in such confidence. And they're
Hmm.
always like, they're not always, I was gonna say they're always bold, but that's not true. They're not always bold. I think she just allows herself to be, and she presents so authentically her, no matter where she's going.
Yes.
Um, Zendaya, a queen,
Yes.
which is really La Roche. La Roche,
That part.
honestly, right, is just
Positioning people.
eating. Yes, he's positioning people. He's eating the girls up. I love the way that he styles her. And she takes a lot of risks. I do think she takes a lot of bold risks, and I love that about her. I just love when I see people play around, especially with like texture and color and
Yeah.
patterns. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. I'm the same way. I
Yeah.
have to have a bold print, a color, or something like. But I love those, and I love that you gave versatility. That will be a great lookbook because Zendaya, Rihanna, that's like really a lot of contrast with them, and then
Yeah.
to see someone with the bold prints, I think that would be you in the lookbook. To be honest,
Thank
like
you.
the third person.
I appreciate
For
it.
that lookbook. So thank you for those. And
Of course.
I want to know, our last question
Mhm.
is, we have what we call our Rise, Shine, and Thrive song. What is that one song you could play that will get you up and going?
I believe in God, and I love me some gospel music. I do. I gospel music will always put me in a good mood. I love right now Lord You Are Good
Mm.
by what's his name, by Todd. His like Lord You Are Good is so good to me, like, cuz I like to wake up and be like, "You know what? Despite everything happening in this world, like,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm good. God's
Yes.
been good to me. Like, I'll be
Yes.
fine." And
Yes.
that's what puts me in a good mood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta hear that. You said,
Yeah.
what was the name again?
Lord, you are good.
Lord, you are good.
I like that song.
Alright. Well, Angel, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast, and gracing us with all your beautiful gems, your style recaps, your content creator go-tos. And I hope y'all all wrote it down. I really do. That I forgot the site, but I'm gonna write it down. But thank you so much. I just am grateful just for what you give, what you share, and that you're authentic to you, that you make sure you're guided. I didn't realize that after, before talking with you, like how you've been guided through your journey as a content creator. So you're really moving on your faith and trusting in the process. And I think that's very powerful. And
Thank you.
but to say that also is like, it's not where us as creatives, our listeners, it's not impossible for you as well. It
Yeah.
just takes a certain amount of courage and strength, and like you said, looking within. And I just implore everyone listening to try to tap into
Yeah.
that. Just try, like taking that step. But I feel like you've consistently done it. And it seems like even in more bolder ways. And I just celebrate that. And that's what we're
Thank
about here at
you.
RareMaven. And I just, hope you just keep on doing that and being that light for those who are trying to get to that path. So
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. And I want you to share with us how folks can keep in contact with you, or reach out to you, or anything you have going on coming up soon. Let us know.
In terms of getting in contact with me, I mean, my name's the same everywhere, Angel_Edme. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And thank everyone, all the listeners. I hope that Angel has been of value. I know she was, but I don't even need to ask. I don't need to hope that. But, and please keep in contact with her. Please follow her. Like, check out all her content. Oh my gosh, she has content on content that you all can check out. And if you like, follow us, subscribe to at RareMaven Media, and we have a lot of things in store this year. Actually, Angel, you're our first episode. I forgot to see that of the season. We're in a new
Period.
season. Yeah. So I'm glad that we have Angel here. So keep up with the podcast. We have a lot in store this year, and our community as well, with some events going on. And just remember to own what you create and celebrate who you are. Thank you all. All right. Bye.